What's up guys, welcome to Formative Film School. I'm Ted with the A-Team. Today I'm here with Valentina Vee. Valentina Vee is a Los Angeles filmmaker who used to shoot and edit a lot of the videos behind the Michelle fan channel, which has over 9 million subscribers. But today she's here to talk to us about how to make a cinemagraph. So, Vee, what is a cinemagraph?
A cinemagraph is a photo and video combination. So it's a photo in which one part of the image is constantly moving, kind of like the paintings or newspaper photos in Harry Potter.
So now, if we're making a cinemagraph, what is the first step?
The first step to making a cinemagraph is figuring out what part of the image is going to move. Is it wind blowing through hair, a creek running down a stream, fire from a candle? What part of the image is going to be the surreal moment? The next step to a cinemagraph is to figure out if it's a looping cinemagraph or if it's a bouncing cinemagraph.
So if you guys are familiar with the app Boomerang, for instance, boomerangs would be a bouncing cinemagraph where the time goes forward and the timeline repeats and goes backwards. A looping cinemagraph, on hand, would go start to finish and then go right back to the start without bouncing back. So today we're going to do a looping cinemagraph, which means that our beginning and our end have to be the same. So what does that mean for our lighting?
We actually have a really easy situation because we are in studio, so we can control the lighting. The lighting has to stay the same throughout the entire cinemagraph. If you're outdoors, however, and the sun is changing or the wind is shifting shadows, you really have to watch out for and pick a spot where the lighting is not going to be changing, especially in the area of the image that's going to be moving.
The sun is moving all the time, so it is tricky. If you are shooting outside, shoot a couple takes to make sure that you can find one where the light is fairly consistent.
The duration of the cinemagraph is really going to depend on what the movement is. If you just have a candle flicker, that could be a few seconds. If you have hair flowing like we had, it might take 4 to 5 seconds to find that area where the hair is back in the exact same position. A good rule of thumb is to have your cinemagraph be as short as possible, because the shorter the video, the smaller the frame size, which means the more higher quality GIF or GIF you can produce out of it.
Generally speaking, how long are cinemagraphs?
Cinemagraphs are like 3 seconds long.
3 seconds long. All right, so keep it short, guys. All right, so we actually just shot a cinemagraph, so we're gonna go on to set and show you guys how that happened. But before we go, what kind of cinemagraph are we shooting today?
Today we're shooting a looping cinemagraph in the style of photography that Julia Kuzmenko is actually really popular for. She is a photographer who uses a lot of gels in her beauty photography, so I was inspired by her lighting setup to create this lighting setup today. This is just how we decided to do it. You can do whatever cinemagraph you want. So the camera settings when you're shooting a cinemagraph aren't like when you're shooting other video. You want every single frame in there to be crisp and clean. So even if you're shooting 24 frames a second, the 1 over twice the frame rate rule for shutter speed does not apply. You want to crank that shutter speed. So my shutter speed is 1 over 60. I overcompensated a little bit with my ISO. It's to 400. And my f-stop is somewhere around 8. So the main tip for a cinemagraph is everything has to be still except for the one thing that you want to move. In this case, it's Kelsey's hair. So she has to be still and everything else has to be still. She has to hold her pose for about 10 to 15 seconds. I'm only probably gonna use about 5 seconds of that, but I need to make sure that her hair falls back to the same place so that when I morph cut her hair, it looks like it just keeps flowing and keeps flowing. It's an endless loop. So the last element that you need in the cinemagraph is something that's moving. And if you're indoors, one of the best ways is hair. So I have set up this fan, and Kelsey has a lot of hair, so we're setting it on the highest setting, but that's what's gonna create our movement. If you're outdoors, you can't plug a fan in, you can take a flag and you can use the flag to create wind if you don't have natural wind, or you can use some other element like water or fire, anything that's supposed to move.
So there's the episode of 4 Minute Film School on how to shoot a cinemagraph with Valentina Vee. If you want to know how to edit a cinemagraph, tune in next week, because that's going to be our episode.
Leave a comment below with a cinemagraph that you would like to shoot. Be creative. Who's the subject? What's moving in the image? The best comment is going to win a set of 3 mini 20 lights.
For instance, Carlos last week won a set of mini 20 lights with this comment right here. So yeah, there's the episode of 4 Minute Film School. This is Valentina Vee. I'm Ted from the A-Team, and we'll catch you guys next time.